Next up on the agenda is announcement nominees for board of directors. This is how this is going to go. The individual that is interested in running for a position will announce themselves. Tomorrow, before the vote on each one, we will have them speak. All right? So with that said, is it you doing this, Cowboy? We're going to have Cowboy doing it. We've just so you know, guys, I am not running for anything.
What?
I'm running out the door. Give me my pen.
All right, so we're trying to keep some decorum and keep some consistency with how elections have been done in the past. And I'm not sure we're achieving that, but we're doing our best. What we are interested now is tomorrow there will be a formal process for the election. We'll do formal nominations tomorrow. What we're trying to do is just make sure we know what elections we're going to have tomorrow, okay? So we're looking for a statement of interest for the people who are going to try to become nominated for the positions tomorrow. And so before I go into that and find out the interest for the positions, I do have, I guess I'm going to throw this up for discussion, and because the board of directors is, what our proposal is we would like to, for the vice president position, have one vote for vice president, and have the top vote getter become the first vice president, and the second second place vote getter become the second vice president. I know that's not the way it has been done in the past. As we were looking at it, thought the board of directors believed it was a more efficient way to achieve the same result. But before we do something that is a departure from how elections have been conducted in the past, and I'm not aware of any reason we can't do it this way. I think the bylaws are open enough that we can, and if somebody disagrees with me, that's why we're bringing it up now. If
bylaws specifically call for it that way. I've always thought that.
you believe it should be done that way, that the way I described?
I agree. That's the way I understand it to be. That's the way I never have understood why we're running for two votes. I thought the first vote getter was the vice president, and the second was the
Second vice president. Okay. And so we've got someone speaking up in favor of doing it that way. So we have one election instead of two. And just to refresh everybody, when we first all ran 4 years ago, the way that it was done is there were two separate positions listed. People got nominated for each of the different positions, and they were completely separate elections. So what we're talking about doing it is a way I agree with Andy that it is more consistent with the bylaws, that we have one election. The first vice president is the top vote getter, and the second vice president is the second highest. Is there anybody else want to comment on that before we move on and look to the statement of interest from folks for running for positions? All right, so let's start. I'm going to start with the position of secretary. Do we have any statement of interest for running for the position of secretary that you would like to announce at this time?
We have Allison from Chickasaw Nation that's interested. She's a little nervous, I guess.
All right. And again, this is a little bit different than the way we've done it in past. Again, what our goal here today is to try to find out who's interested so that we can start having a discussion, start doing the politicking, and start figuring out how these elections are going to break down tomorrow, and also to know if we are going to have contested elections in each category. So we do have interest from Allison from Chickasaw Nation for the position of Secretary. Is there anyone else who would like to declare interest in the position of Secretary? Okay, and just to be clear, again, this is just a statement of interest. We'll do formal nominations tomorrow and go through that process. Is there any, I'm going to move on to the position of Treasurer. Is there any interest in the position of Treasurer? Mike Mazzulli?
No. Treasurer. Just stand up. We have another one who gets embarrassed. Where are you from, young lady? Krista. Which one is that?
So if I understood correctly, we do have interest in the position from Trista from Oregon. Any other interest in the position of Treasurer? And I apologize, you know what, now that I'm up here doing this, it just feels awkward doing it this way, but putting people on the spot like this, they are going to be on the spot, but Mazzulli set it up this way, and this is what we're doing now, so. Is there any other interest of people who would like to declare interest in the position of Treasurer? All right, we are moving on to the position of Vice President. Are there any individuals who would like to, and this encompasses both first and second Vice President. We did not have any hesitation there. We have Kim from New York, and we have Matt from Minnesota, and we have Frank from Miccosukee. So we had no problem getting some candidates there. Are there other candidates, people interested in pursuing one of the open positions for Vice President? Oh. Is that Mark? Mark Langlis from Connecticut. Anyone else before I go ahead and go through the list of names, and I'll state the list of names one more time of the folks. We had Kim Sumbler from New York. We had Matt Showalter from Minnesota. Frank Gentile from Miccosukee, and Mark Langlis from Connecticut. Any other folks want to express interest and intent at this time for Vice President, either position? Seeing none, we will move on to the position of President. Are there any individuals who are crazy enough to declare their interest for the position of President of the ABC?
Nebraska, the great state of Nebraska.
Brian Dunn from the great state of Nebraska has declared interest. Are there any other individuals at this time who would like to declare interest for this position? It looks like Kevin McDonald is standing up. All right, last chance. Anybody else would like to express interest? I've tried to talk several people into running against Don unsuccessfully. All right. All right, so tomorrow on the agenda, what time is it tomorrow on the agenda? Right after lunch. And what I'm going to propose is that we will the positions where we will formally take nominations. I will state this, there is actually nothing in the bylaws that prevents somebody else from being nominated at that time. Again, these are declarations today, so theoretically it could happen, but we will take nominations. If there's only one position, one person up for a position, I will propose to the body that we elect the person by acclamation, and if there's support for that, then we'll do that way. For the contested elections, then we will do election by ballot.